decently good news was announced today. Blizzard has announced that crafted gear will go and cap at 363 item level, which is myth 5 out of 6 in the War Within, keeping their maximum power level relative to that of Dragonflight. So basically the exact same amount, only minus 3 item levels compared to what we had in Dragonflight. Pretty good announcement. Basically, Blizzard stated that we'd like to clarify that crafted gear will remain the same relative power in the War Within as it was in Dragonflight, basically being 3 item levels below it. There was also this interesting post on Wowhead talking about the myth track extending from 4 to 6 levels in the War Within beta and stuff like that, and kind of airing out some of the issues and potential things that you're going to see with that. There was also a tweet from Now that you can see on screen right here, where Now is basically mathing out, Dryness had a video on it, but Now is basically mathing out the fact that it's going to take about twice as many Mythic Plus runs to be able to cap your crests from the beginning of Myth to 6 out of 6. And so that would take an extended period of time, but with crafting gear and stuff like that, being able to go up to 363, that's going to reduce the amount of crests that you're going to have in theory, but it still doesn't alleviate all of this. I will say this is a good change, and so basically you can move the spreadsheet here from crafted gear to here. And so just in general, this is a pretty good change. It doesn't completely fix all of the problems, but let's kind of talk about like what the issues still have. So for M+ only players, the main problem that you're going to have is if you ever have to wear hero track gear, it's going to be noticeably worse than it was in the past. So hold on. So this was the end of hero track this is the end of hero track in War Within, and this is the end of hero track in Dragonflight right now. And so whenever you actually have this gear at 4 to 4 myth, with it only being a few item levels below it, with it only being 6 item levels below it, you don't really feel too bad about wearing hero track gear. So if you end up having to wear Mythic Plus trinkets or whatnot, it's not like the end of the world. Whereas Mythic Plus trinkets and any hero track level gear that you end up having to wear in War Within, it's going to be noticeably worse. And that's one of the big reasons that this is still problematic for M+ only players, although it is much better now with crafting gear being able to go up. I will say that it solves a lot of the problems. You're going to be able to play probably down like an item level and a half, as opposed to the 2.5 to 2 item levels that it looked like you were going to be playing down. I think a bigger issue is that you're still beholden to the vault. There's no deterministic way of getting gear out of the vault, and I actually think that deterministically getting loot out of the vault would maybe even solve this from like an M+ perspective, because then you would actually be able to handpick kind of the pieces that you're going to be looking to get. Now again, the upsides of this probably still stay, where raiders, they still have a pretty large incentive to re-clear, where they didn't necessarily as much in Dragonflight Season 4. People wanted the gearing process to be a little bit more smooth and have actual reasons and tangible reasons to actually farm, even if it was at the cost of M+ players gearing. Now, obviously, I think that there's a bunch of other solutions. I think the other solutions that people pitched are like, you could just make M+ gear the best gear from M+. Kind of similar to like the PvP style, where they have like a modifier at the bottom of them, where it's like whenever you're doing an M+ dungeon, you actually have like increased item level gain. But in general, I wanted to just kind of talk about how Blizzard has walked this back. Still not a perfect system, and gearing is going to get worse for M+ only level players, but at least being able to craft gear that's close enough in a lot of those spots that you are missing some gear in is going to be nice. Anyhow, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Goodbye.